Welcome to another episode of On the Deck, and joining me today from the state of Michigan is maritime archaeologist Wayne Lusardi. Wayne, I want to talk a little bit about the shipwreck that is right below our feet, the WP Rend. Can you fill us in on some of the details about the shipwreck as well as the background of how the ship came to be?
Sure. The WP Rend was originally named the George Hadley. It was built by James Davidson in West Bay City, Michigan in 1888. And it was a time when most of the ships being built were made out of iron or steel. And James Davidson really wanted to show the world that you can still build efficient wooden ships. And so they became bigger and bigger. And ultimately, by the early 20th century, it was no longer a viable option. And so most of the ships then after that became of steel. The Hadley was built in Bay City and it operated across the Great Lakes carrying bulk cargoes like coal and crushed stone and grains and things like that. And it wrecked pretty significantly in the Duluth area early in its career. When it was recovered from that wreck, it was rebuilt and renamed the WP Rend. Eventually, it became just a tow barge and no longer a bulk freighter.
Many ships in the Great Lakes would have multiple wrecks. A schooner in Thunder Bay wrecked 14 times in one season. Talk about a ship on a collision course. And speaking of collisions, the WP Rend would wreck one last time. So Wayne, what caused the WP Rend to wreck?
In 1917, when WP Rend was coming into Alpena, it was no longer a motorized vessel. It was being towed in by another ship carrying a big cargo of crushed limestone from Kelly's Island in Lake Erie. As it was coming into the Portland Cement Company channel, a heavy sea pushed it out of the channel and ended up grounding on the rocks. It stuck fast, broke its sort of keel, and was no longer able to be recovered or repaired.
The WP Rend now sits 17 feet below the surface and just off the coast of Alpena. It's a unique wreck and a diver's delight. What makes this shipwreck special?
It's actually the longest shipwreck. It's the biggest shipwreck inside of Thunder Bay proper. It's almost 300 feet in length, and it is virtually intact from stem to stern. The bow is located where the white buoy is, and the stern is at the orange buoy there. Its sides come up to just a few feet below the water surface, and the cargo is still actually inside the cargo hold.
Wow, that's really cool. It's almost like you could walk in there and it's all preserved, all there.
Yeah,
people could still pick up their luggage.
Yeah, it's literally like a time capsule sitting on the lake bottom there.
This vessel is one of the most accessible shipwrecks in the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, a museum sitting off the shores of Alpena, ready to be explored and enjoyed by all. I hope you'll join us next week on the deck.